What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So you see, this is a pure case of you have to be careful what the energy you put out in the universe, because the things you say will be held against you. With that said, Gervonta Davis is now forced to give props, unwantingly having to give props to his biggest rival in Devin the Dream Haney, who is by far way more accomplished than him. Who Devin Haney, right, has now become a Hall of Famer as of yesterday. Devin Haney is now an undefeated 3-division world champion. He is an undisputed lightweight, the first one and the youngest one to do so. He is the WBC junior welterweight former champion, and now the WBO welterweight world champion. He is a 3-division champion with a record of now 33 wins, no losses, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout. He also has knockout of the year on his resume for all the people that say he's pillow-fisted. Like Gervonta Davis stated, he's a middleweight that can't punch himself out of a wet paper bag. Well, he has knockout of the year on his resume, and now in what was seen to be two of the toughest fights and two of the toughest opponents, who was actually world champions when he beat them in Regis Prograis and Brian Norman Jr., he dropped both of them in the fights. They were seen to be the bigger puncher, and he had a pillow fist and a glass jaw. Neither one of them rocked him, and neither one of them dropped him. But on the contrary, he rocked them multiple times and dropped both of them. Okay, so Gervonta Davis, after Brian Norman Jr., the former WBO world champion, who is now 28 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout, Gervonta Davis praised Brian Norman Jr. in June, when Brian Norman Jr. highlight reel knockout of the year brutally knocked out Jin Sasaki. And Gervonta Davis had this to say: Brian Norman is the truth. They had that epic few sparring sessions. He says Atlanta doesn't understand just how good of a champion they have. He's fired. He's the truth. Right? And remember, it was said that Brian Norman got the best of Tank Davis in their sparring, right? And guess what? Devin Haney went in there, dropped Brian Norman, and won essentially every round. I thought he won 9 rounds to 3. And then you include the knockdown, that's an extra point. 11 rounds to 3. He clearly won this fight. Hands down, easy. Handicapped Brian Norman. Took the left hook that he finally landed. Finally, Brian Norman, because remember, the debacle that Devin Haney had with Ryan Garcia last April, where Devin Haney got dropped 3 times, initially lost the fight, majority decision to Ryan Garcia. The fight got overturned because Ryan Garcia got tested positive for a banned substance, performance enhancers, got suspended, and got a $1 million fine. The fight got overturned. And yes, everybody said we can't unsee the left hook, and Brian Norman is a knockout artist. Well, Devin Haney, who everybody said can't defend the left hook, he can't defend the left hook. Ironically enough, the punch that he lands first to knock Brian Norman down in this fight is a left hook. How ironic is that? And when he gets hit with the left hook from Brian Norman, he takes it. Passes the test with flying colors. So this means, because Gervonta Davis said Brian Norman was the best welterweight in the world, and he was a fire champion, and he was him. And now you have to pass that same praise on to Devin Haney. That's the way of the world. That's how nature works. One king will replace the other king. And you can't now say that that king ain't a king. When you praise the king that was sitting on the throne before him, now you have to praise the new king sitting on the throne and give him the same respect or even more, because now he done dethroned that king. When you have lions in the jungle and one lion dethrones the other lion, he becomes the king of the jungle and everybody is forced to respect him. And in this case, you praise Brian Norman as the king of the welterweight division. And now you got to have this pass down the same praise to Devin Haney because he did it in spectacular fashion. Not controversial. He did it in spectacular fashion and left no doubt and dropped Brian Norman in the process. Praise has to be due. You see how the universe works? And that's all I got for y'all. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.